Hi guys, I'm back with another video. This one is for the collective. I am going to scrapbook this picture. It is of my niece and nephew, and recently I started scrapbooking some photographs from my second to youngest sister. Her name's Diane. These are two of her kids. This is Jocelyn and this is Israel, and they're taking a picture with Santa, as you can see here. She sent me this photograph a long time ago, and she no longer has it, so I'm glad that I still have this photograph, even though it's a little one. It's a little over 3 inches and it's a little over 3 inches by 2 inches. I think maybe almost two and a half. So it's a really small photo, and I don't want to enlarge it because then I feel like it's gonna get really pixelated, but the picture itself is really nice and clear and crisp. As you can see here, just maybe just realize that it is a tiny photo. I'm not one for making photos. Oops, let me zoom out here. There we go. I'm not for always scrapbooking tiny photographs, but since this is a special size and she sent me this wallet a long time ago, it's the one I'm going to use for this layout. I am using, of course, as part of this collaboration, it is using some of these warehouse boxes, and this one in particular is from Pinkfresh Studio, and I am using the Christmas stuff that I got in that warehouse box. So this is half of a pad, a 6x6 pad from the Holiday Vibes collection. I also have some scraps from this piece of paper, also from the Holiday Vibes, and I'm going to either choose to use this other side or the cut aparts, which are both awesome. I decided I wanted to use this pattern piece of paper, although I'm not really sure if I'm going to end up doing that. I'm not too sure just yet, but it is the one that I decided to pick right off the bat initially. And I love this green, and I love the way it looks against the photograph looks against it. But I'm not too sure just yet which one I want to use. I also know that I have these things to pull and use from that also came in one of the 2 warehouse boxes that I had gotten. And yeah, if you haven't seen the video, I think I have most of my collective videos all in a playlist. I'll go ahead and remember to add that at the end of the video. And so I'm going to go ahead and get started on the process, and I'll see how this all comes together. So I did start off by matting this photograph onto some of that 6x6 paper in the same collection. It is a light blue paper. The reason I did that is because, like I had mentioned at the beginning of the video, this photograph is very small. So I wanted to highlight it with a bigger border, and I probably should have done it in a white border first with either scrap paper or white paper. White cardstock paper, but I think maybe I got lazy, or maybe I just forgot to do that step first. Either way, you can still tell that it has a large frame, and so it helps direct that your eye towards the photograph so that it's the center focus. I did end up making a separate or bigger frame on the 12x12 itself by using a border punch, and that is from the Knockouts from American Crafts. And I even used the 6x6 paper, and so I had to, punch this border 8 times, and then I stitched it together with gold thread. Stitching with gold thread is the hardest. First of all, I was able to use my sewing machine since I moved my sewing machine desk. I freed that up so that my husband can have a study area, and I was actually able to use my sewing machine on my own desk without any problems, and I just need to find a place for my sewing machine, and that's probably something that I'm going to try and work on, hopefully before the holidays get too crazy or hectic. I don't even know if they're going to get real hectic, honestly. I don't try to go crazy doing stuff when the holidays come around. So here I am using, I did use the back of a 6x6 piece of paper, again from the Pink Paisley collection, to use the back side of it since it's white. And I punched out some of these snowflakes with a Martha Stewart punch. And I honestly don't remember the name of the punch, or else I would have it labeled. But I did also bring in a red doily from my stash, and I backed that onto the paper just so that you have something very bright, very attention grabbing, so that your eye goes to that first. Especially since the pattern paper is very busy, and I am kind of putting tons of little embellishments on it also to kind of direct the eye to where it should go. I only put snowflake punches over by the side where the photograph is. I did want to bring in that photo frame just to kind of embellish something a little bit on that side, and then I end up making a visual triangle by bringing up something towards the attention of that bird up on the top right hand corner that you'll see later on in the video. I did go through several of the products that I am trying to use for this collective video, and since there's a lot of fun stuff to play with, I just figured I'd try to audition things in several areas of the layout so that I could try and maximize the use of the different textures, and also the depth, because all of those different elements are either thicker or thinner, just depending on what it is that you use. I think I got a good mix in there by using the doily that wasn't in the collection. It's still, red doilies are kind of harder to use, I think, than white. I think if they were all white doilies, it would be easier, but I did want something bright behind the photograph. So I did use some puffy stickers um, to put underneath the photograph. It's just something else to bring attention to the photograph itself. And I used these wooden embellishments. Once I decided that the title, which says December Traditions, in the wood veneer was going to go on, I decided to bring them in, or two more of those wooden veneers with the gold foiling on them, in two other places to create that visual triangle. And so I was able to do that with the puffy stickers and also the wood veneer. And I think that's it as far as like making visual triangles. So I try to stay real conscious of that when I'm making them. And then for the last touches, I decided to add these sequins type of white snowflakes. The one thing that you don't see here or in the close-ups is that for the snowflakes, I do add for the sequin style snowflakes, I do add enamel dots to them in the same from the same collection, and that's about it. This was simply or fairly simple to make, but at the most part took just the idea of putting it together, and also trying to use that chipboard frame, because for me those are a little bit harder for me to use. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to check out the other ladies participating in the collective, and we will see you next month for another collective video. Have a great day, and thanks for watching. Bye!